And coming back to America, the concept, the topic of America. Now, and you and I have had the opportunity to collaborate on several major initiatives, such as a learner passport, a robust learner passport solution. But I know you spent some time in the U.S. recently, and you're sporting a cowboy hat. So yeah, would love to get your take, as an Australian in America for a number of weeks, talking to various educators. What similarities and as well as differences do you see between the two different models and markets?
Yeah, we're really fortunate. We went to Austin, Texas for South by Southwest EDU, and yeah, the main objective was to understand the problem. I think we've been around it quite heavily in Australia, and I guess understand the structural dynamics. Is how applicable is that to the rest of the world? And I guess long story short is like almost every you know economy location that we look at, everyone's struggling with the same problem. So I do think it's a universal challenge that countries and governments and schools and educators are going to go through, is how to deal with the future of work and this changing dynamic of a career, what being an employee is, what whether it's gig economy, what new technologies are introducing. Like there's so many different inputs that are happening that I think everyone's trying to figure it out a bit. And it's so material on the economy, is trying to get ahead of this stuff. And so it was really awesome to see what people are talking about and challenges and things. I think the call out is I think Australia is actually quite advanced in this topic, from a product and organizational standpoint, but also I think from a government level. I actually feel like from the Commonwealth government down to states, if you think about from the Joyce Review, how that's mobilised into the skills laws, to the jobs and skills councils, to some of the programs that's going across different state departments. I think really probably one of the leaders that I've come across. And so, it was interesting talking to people. I think people actually recognize that a little bit. A lot of people are quite curious about what's happening in Australia. We've got a really strong and highly respected education system, both higher education and the vocational system. So yeah, I think we're in a very fortunate position to take the lead on a global scale to say, this is what the opportunity is. And I think that's the thing, is to solve this, it's really based on partnerships. And it's bringing together both private and public, and scale up, startup, a whole bunch of different organizations together to help solve it. And I think the appetite's there, I think, for most people in the market. And I guess again, the being in this space, people want it to succeed. So I think it was good to just get some validation that it's what we're doing is important and needs to be solved.
Yeah, wholeheartedly agreed. And it is interesting. Well, and I was over in Atlanta for the Digital Credential Summit, and they were talking up the advantages that Australia has, and what we've been able to do as a country, and a centralized approach. But then, interestingly, in having discussions here where we've co-sponsored or co-hosted skills meetups, of gathering of government and academic and industry and learners, and hear people say, "Oh, the U.S. is so advanced," or they have the scale, they have all these other advantages. And so, but clearly the message is we can learn from each other. And while the language and terminology, the concept of a learner passport here might correlate to a portrait of a graduate, was the phrase that we were talking about previously, is something that we're certainly seeing come up a lot more in the U.S. But ultimately, it is about creating that very rich profile for the learner to support whichever pathway or pathways through their life that they're going to pursue. So I agree. I think I'm very excited about the opportunities in America, but also for the cross fertilization and picking the best ideas from both countries or from all around the world and putting them to use, which is something that Year 13 has definitely been very successful at. So.